Greetings from the quarantine kitchen. Today we're going to do a slight variation of an American classic. We're going to do an enchilada meatloaf. So there are a few variations of what I use compared to a normal meatloaf, and we'll go through all the steps. Let's get started. So here I've got about 1.5 pounds of ground beef. About 80-20 on fat to meat content. I am using one of my favorite devices is my KitchenAid mixer. A lot of people just do it by hand, not me. I like to use this. I bought it for a reason. So here we have 1.5 pounds of ground beef. To that, I'm going to add 2 eggs. That has never happened to me before. Then we're going to add 1 cup of breadcrumbs, seasonings, chili powder, 1 teaspoon of oregano, and then I'm going to use a 1/2 can of Rotel, drained really well. A glass of wine, that's for me. It does not go into the recipe. And then we're going to top it off with some red enchilada sauce and some Chihuahua cheese. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the Rotel. Let's get it all out of here. Approximately 1 cup of diced onions. If you don't want to put the onions in or want to cut back on that amount, feel free. I just like a lot of onions. I have a 1/2 cup of green chilies. I love these things. I get them at Costco. They come in a jar. I think the name of the on the label is 505 green chilies, but they're fantastic. They do have a lot of kick to them. Then 1 teaspoon of salt and pepper, 1 teaspoon of each. 1 teaspoon of oregano. Now, believe it or not, oregano is a spice used in a lot of Mexican dishes. And last but not least, 1 teaspoon of chili powder. And we are going to mix this up. I know it's really exciting watching a mixer go, but I gotta fill in some time here. So while that is mixing, we're going to go through a couple options. A lot of people use a bread pan to make meatloaf in. I prefer to use like a pie dish. Now this is from my convection oven. The reason I use this is it allows the grease to drain off of the meatloaf as it goes. And I put it in this little device to help it from stop sliding off when I put it in the oven. What I do is I make a ring, so there's nothing in the middle. It's like a big donut, but I just feel it cooks quicker and it allows some of the grease to drain off of the meat. So here you have the meatloaf. It looks like a big jello mold. And what I will do now, I'm going to try to do, I may have to do this separately, is take this can of enchilada sauce and put it over the top like a lot of people do ketchup. I used about 1/3 of the can. And to that, I'm going to add the Chihuahua cheese. There you go. So what I'm going to do is it is going to go into the oven at 375 for 25 minutes. Here we have the finished product. Couple quick notes about this. I told you originally 375 for 25 minutes. I ended up putting this in at 400 for 35 minutes. I think due to the density of the meatloaf, it took a little bit longer to cook all the way through. But it's ready to go. So hopefully you like this. Try the recipe. Let me know what you think, and feel free to share the video if you think someone else would like to try it. signing off from the quarantine kitchen.